Christine Schiavone, and our show is Spiritual Exploration. Tonight, we're going to talk with Mary Silvernail. I'm sure that you remember her from previous shows, and she does astrology, and tonight we're going to talk about spiritual astrology. And she will explain to us what it's all about. And so I'd like to introduce you once again to Mary Silvernail. How you doing, Mary?
Oh, great. Thank you very much for having me again,
My pleasure,
Christine.
always.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're a wonderful guest.
To be here. Thank you.
So we're going to talk about spiritual astrology tonight, but before that, there were some things you wanted to go into. First of all, explain to our audience exactly what you do for your patients or clients, and then we'll go into things from there.
Okay. I do a lot of things.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. First of all, I'm a board-certified clinical hypnotherapist and a Reiki master teacher.
Yes.
And I also, so I teach Reiki and I also teach hypnosis. I certify people in hypnotherapy. I'm an instructor for the National Guild of Hypnotists. And also, I am a professional astrologer. I write the horoscope column for newspapers and magazines. And let's see what else. I do a lot of angel channeling. I'm a psychic, a medium, and I'm very much so a spiritual astrologer. Because there is astrology, and then there's spiritual astrology, which goes even deeper. And that's really what we're going to be talking about tonight, right?
Right, you'll be looking at my chart and giving me a spiritual, astrological mini-reading kind of, I guess.
Right, yeah. My office is on Route 9 in Waretown. The name of my business is Hope Hypnosis and Holistic Center. And
can people reach you by Googling Hope Hypnosis or
Hope
your
Hypnosis
name?
and Holistic Center or Mary Silvernail, or they can go to my website, which is www.hopehypnosis.com, or they can reach me by email, which is hopehypnosis@aol.com, and or they can call me at 609-242-3900. And
that's easy.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients that come from New York, Pennsylvania, and my office is located. A lot of people don't know where Waretown, New Jersey is, but it's exit 69 on the Parkway, so that gives you a good idea.
And it's not
like
far from the exit either, because Pat Brady and I took a ride a few weeks ago to see you.
Right, it was so nice.
We had a nice time together.
Yes, that was beautiful.
We had a nice lunch and everything.
That was beautiful. I will be opening another office in Middlesex County very shortly.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, which is right over the outer bridge.
Oh.
So, oh yeah, and that will be sometime this summer.
Good, good. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's great. That's great. So, talk to us, talk to our audience, and tell us.
Okay.
What now? You said there was something you wanted to cover to begin with.
Okay. Well, first of all, I wanted to talk about the 3 eclipses.
That's it. Yes.
That are coming up now in June. There's one on June 1st, June 15th, and July the 1st. So this is a lot of heavy-duty astrological energy.
This is all 2011.
Oh, yeah, 2011, June 1st, June 15th, and July the 1st, all of 2011.
So we have, like, within like a 4-week period, 3 eclipses.
Yeah.
Now, are they lunar
right.
eclipses or? Okay,
well, on June the 1st, we'll be experiencing the Gemini solar eclipse. And at that time, because this is part of what I write in my column, the planetary aspects, every month, and you can also find that on my website every month. But on June the 1st, we'll be experiencing the Gemini solar eclipse. And be ready for warp drive. Basically, that's what I'd like to say to you. Because these 3 eclipses, this is going to start the speed is going to be as of June 1st, and things are going to start happening extremely, extremely quickly. Around the time of the solar eclipse, don't be surprised if you don't suddenly change your mind about something. I mean, really important. And don't be surprised if you hear in the news that there's sudden changes. I'm talking about sudden changes in policy, in the way that we do things as a nation.
Does this have to do with the 2012 thing coming up too?
Well, okay, yes it does. Yes it does, a little bit. Okay, well it all does. I mean, we've been experiencing this for the past few years, actually.
Yes, that's right.
But just, that's what I'm saying here though, as far as June the 1st, don't be surprised about a lot of very sudden changes in policy, in the way that we think, in the way that we do things. June 15th is the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, the Sagittarius lunar eclipse. And what's going to happen at that time, it's going to bring our emotions truly to the surface. So first we're going to change our mind about something, then all of a sudden
get emotional
we're going
about it.
Yeah, and then emotionally we're going to, yes, get very emotional about it. You're absolutely right, okay? 2 weeks later.
And we might want to change our mind again, maybe?
Yeah, but this is buried emotions, actually. This Sagittarius lunar eclipse is more about the buried emotions that we have inside of us that we stuff down and deal with. Well, guess what? A lot of emotion is going to be coming to the surface. Then on July the 1st, we have the Cancer solar eclipse. And at that time, this is very important, there's going to be a cardinal grand cross. And there's going to be, and that's what it's called in astrology, the aspects of the planets.
In other words, the planets are going to line up in the form of a cross?
Yes, absolutely.
Didn't they do that once before?
Oh, yes.
Was it
yes.
August 11th, 1999, I believe it was.
Very good.
Really?
Very good. Pretty close to that. I don't remember the exact date.
I have a grandnephew, a
good.
godchild that was born on that day.
Oh, really?
That's why I remember.
Oh, that's why you remember. See? Okay, I'm thinking, whoa.
It was a significant day.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, let me tell you. But what's happening at that time is that we're going to see significant breakthroughs, And, you know, our economy is starting to come around a bit.
Okay.
And I really feel after these 3 eclipses in a row that what's going to happen is in the month of July, we're going to see significant changes, significant.
What kind of changes now? In what?
As far as our economy, look what's already starting to happen as far as the price of gas. Gasoline is finally going down a little bit.
Has it?
Well, yeah, it's supposed to go down between 40 and 50 cents, I believe,
I hope so.
within the next few weeks.
Really? Because they were saying by summer it was going to be $5 a gallon.
I know, but then things changed about a week ago. But you watch and see here now. I'm telling you with these 3 eclipses. But see, it's not just the world as a whole. It's also what happens with us individually. And it's going to be quite an emotional time. It's going to be a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. But you know what? Especially when I was talking about June 15th with the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, okay, these buried emotions that finally rise to the surface, they need to. You know, and part of the work that I do is helping people to deal with their emotions and allow their emotions to rise to the surface. Because once they arise to the surface, then you're able to deal with them and fix them, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And sometimes just the act of being emotional helps you to calm down too and feel a little bit better.
Just like it's a natural, it's a physical, natural thing for us to cry because that releases a lot of chemicals and releases those emotions. And it's
helps
important
you get past
that we're,
something.
yes, absolutely. And that's why it's important. You know, also in the work that I do as far as the, and I know this is really about spiritual astrology, but please understand, and I think you saw when you came to my office that day, you and Pat, that I combine a lot of what I do. There's so many things that I do, and it depends upon the person's whatever is needed for their healing. Many times I look at their astrological chart even though they came in to see me for hypnotherapy. Or in hypnotherapy, I may be doing some Reiki for them at the same time, you see?
Yeah.
So it all depends on what the person needs.
Now, you're saying on July 1st is going to be a what eclipse, a lunar or
Okay, on July the 1st, it's going to be a Cancerian solar eclipse.
So it'll be a solar eclipse on June 1st, a lunar eclipse on June 15th, and another solar eclipse on July 1st.
June the 1st is the Gemini solar eclipse.
Right, and
that's
then,
when things, you're going to start feeling things really speeding up in your life.
Okay.
Okay.
And then June 15th.
Is a Sagittarius lunar eclipse, and that's when the buried emotions are going to start coming up.
Okay, and then July 1st is another
a Cancer solar eclipse, and that's where the cardinal grand cross is formed. And a cardinal grand cross brings about huge breakthroughs.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, breakthroughs in what?
And especially, I'm feeling in money, because a lot of the planets are also going to be aligned in Taurus. And plus, we've also just recently experienced that alignment of Aries, tremendous alignment of Aries, that now some of the planets are moving into Taurus. But that's why I also feel very strongly that as far as finances go, and when I say that, especially around this this cardinal cross, the July 1st, the reason I say that is because it's in the sign of Cancer. And the sign of Cancer is for the world, the whole world, basically. Okay.
The sign of Cancer?
Yes, yes, that has a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. Because, for instance, if a person has, and we're going to be going into your chart,
in a little
especially,
sure.
yes, in reference to Cancer.
Right.
And in reference to Cancer, what happens is, if say that on the 10th house of a person's astrological chart, that they have the sign of Cancer. The 10th house is your career and also your standing in the world. Usually someone who talks to a lot of very large crowds, or does some research that will help huge amounts of people. I mean, we're talking about masses of people. That has to do with Cancer.
Really?
The large masses, yes.
Well, Cancer, I believe, is, and I'm told that as far as my chart is concerned, I'm always in the service of others in one way or another.
Absolutely, absolutely. Actually, I have your chart here.
Right.
Can we talk about where Cancer is,
sure,
et cetera, in your chart?
Go ahead.
Because once before we had talked a little bit about this in another show in reference to the gatekeepers. This is your chart right here, and you have Cancer on the 7th house. That's your sun sign also. And you reach masses of people, don't you? Large masses of people.
I imagine I do through my television show here.
Yes, you do.
And Staten Island has been growing, and so more and more people, I guess, are tuning in. Yes.
Yes, you do. And you make tremendous change for them. You know, so that's why I'm saying that that eclipse is going to affect, that Grand Cardinal Cross, that eclipse is going to affect the population as a whole, especially financially. I'm feeling this. I'm really feeling this. And that's another thing. You see, as I explained to you before, I'm a spiritual astrologer, and there's a difference between spiritual astrology and astrology, because a lot of astrologers will look at your chart and they'll look at the inner circle here. You see this inner circle here, okay, where all the planets were.
Now they have a copy of my chart in the control room.
Yes, they do.
Right? Oh, there it is on the.
Oh, do you see it there?
It's right on the
Okay,
screen.
very good. Okay, the inner wheel, the inner circle, not where all the lines are, but where all the little glyphs are. That's where all the planets were when you were born, Christine. And the outer circle is where all the planets are right now as we speak.
Oh.
And as a spiritual astrologer, when I'm looking at your chart, I'm not just looking at all the transits and how it's affecting you and how all the planets, where the moon is now and all this, how it's affecting you. That's just regular astrology. But when I'm looking at your astrological chart, because I am also extremely psychic, what happens to me is, sounds a little crazy, but what happens to me is that the chart actually speaks to me, because to me this is an imprint of your soul.
Ah.
You see, this is the difference between spiritual astrology and regular astrology. When we say regular astrology, just plain, straightforward astrology. This is really the difference, because I am spiritually connecting to you by looking at your astrological chart, looking at where the planets were when you were born. It gives me so much information, not just about your personality, not just about the lifetimes that you have had before.
Can you tell how many?
Well, let me tell you, we have actually thousands of lifetimes that we experience.
Yeah.
And that is something else that I really wanted to go into, after we talk a little bit about your chart, okay? Because I really wanted to explain a few things in reference to you that I see here spiritually.
I had a spirit tell me that I've only had 138 lifetimes because I prefer spending more time on the other side when I'm there.
I know, and in between lives, right?
Yes.
You want to know why?
No.
Because, well, there's one thing here.
I mean, I do want to know.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I got to tell you, boy, okay, I got to tell you here, because you are what's called a gatekeeper, and I brought this up to you once before.
But the last time I saw you, yes.
I myself am a gatekeeper. The reason is, you see, you are a Capricorn rising. That is your rising sign.
Right.
On the first house, you are an 18 degree, which 18? Very special number.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, very lucky number. Okay. Number 18 is in Chinese astrology, the luckiest number. Now, we have Capricorn. Capricorn is where all the souls come through. See, now this is a part of spiritual astrology that a regular astrologer, I'm going to use the term regular astrologer, would really not be looking at. Where all you happen to help, actually, even if it's on a subconscious level, or if it's at night when you're asleep, when you're in that other level, in that alpha level, you actually are helping the souls move on, the ones that are leaving this earth. You actually help them and guide them to move on.
Really?
Yes.
And how do I know all of that, what to tell them? Because I'm...
Oh, you know that from before, sweetie.
Because I know I do something and I go somewhere and things like that. It's just that I don't remember exactly what when I wake up.
Exactly, because you're not supposed to remember, really, unless, sometimes we bring back some things with us, but not a lot. Because it isn't just that we're just going to the different earthly planes. We also travel to the other planes. And I have some information here in reference to that. But what I wanted to explain to you here is this Cancerian 18 degrees on your 7th house. You see, it's in opposition here to your rising sign. Now, you also have your sun in Cancer. When you were born, the sun was in Cancer, Uranus was in Cancer, and Mars was in Cancer. That's all here on the 6th house, onto the cusp of the 7th house. Now, Cancer is the part of the heavens that where the souls come in. I think we had discussed this before in one of our previous shows that I had done with you. Cancer is where the souls actually come through the constellation, that constellation, through Cancer in order to attach to the fetus. But you also help, that's why I'm saying you're a gatekeeper, because besides the souls that are leaving, you're also directing the traffic in. Do you see what I'm saying?
Souls coming in, huh?
Yes, that's what I'm
Babies being
saying.
born?
Yeah, so you're back and forth here. And this is extremely interesting to me.
Really?
It really is. I mean, I love looking at your chart. Okay, now.
Is it unique?
It's very unique. You know, I happen to be a Capricorn rising also.
Yes.
I think that's why we get along so well.
Probably, yeah.
And when I was born, the moon was in Cancer. And that is why, see, that is an indication to me, whenever I see this kind of a setup in a person's astrological chart, I know that they're a gatekeeper. And the reason it's called gatekeeper is just that you're kind of like a traffic cop, you know, directing through the planes. Guiding.
And I know where to tell people to go and all that stuff.
Exactly, exactly.
How about animals, same thing?
Exactly, absolutely, 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 absolutely. But, you know, one of the things, too, in spiritual astrology that I look at is where Saturn was when the person was born. So now looking at your chart, let me see. Where was Saturn when you were born? Let me see here. Here it is, in Virgo. And that is an indication of your last lifetime, the one prior to the one that you're in right now. To me, it is. And guess what house it's in? It's in the 8th house of the occult in your chart.
Meaning?
The occult isn't really, I mean, metaphysics.
Was I a witch or something?
Well, very, very, very possibly, but I'm really feeling more of an alchemist, which, you know, witches also are.
A person who mixes different things.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But alchemists, besides mixing things, what we're also talking about is they also have a beautiful ability to manifest whatever it is that they would like to create. The alchemists, in ancient times, the kings had them because they were able to turn iron to gold. You see what I'm saying? How tremendous that is metaphysically. Metaphysically. But that's basically what I do when I'm looking at a person's stars. I mean, when I do a reading, you've had readings with me before, okay? And, you know, I mean, I tell people as far as what I see in their future, what I see coming up, but really what happens with me in a reading, if you recall, what happens is I'm looking at the person's chart just like a tarot card reader would look at tarot cards, or a person may use runes as a tool, but or maybe a crystal ball. But my tool that I use is your astrological chart, because it actually, something just comes from it spiritually that I connect with your soul. And then I can see many of your lifetimes, and I can have a very good understanding of why you incarnated now into this particular lifetime and your soul's purpose.
So my soul's purpose and my reason for incarnating now.
8th house.
And could we put that into words?
Okay. Saturn is in your 8th house of the occult, metaphysics. Your sun sign, which the sun is an indication of how you spread joy to others. And the way that you do it is through the mass media, basically, okay? And what kind of information are you spreading? That of the occult, that of the metaphysics, to help others, to help large groups of people. This is what you're doing to transform their lives, to heal their lives.
Well, that's why I do the show, because it gratifies me to see that people are helped by the information that I'm able to get for them.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But also then, what I see here is, you know, and I find this so interesting because I know that you have been redoing your home. You've been having some construction and things like that in your home.
My kitchen, ma'am,
yeah, okay.
And the roof.
And look at that. The sun is transiting right now through your home, which means there's a lot of energy there right now. So if we're talking about regular astrology, which, by the way, I practice Greek astrology. There's different forms of astrology. I also do a form of Native American astrology because I am part Native American, and I'm very proud of my Cherokee heritage. And that's a little bit different than this. But what I'm saying here is, like, if you came to me for a reading, what I would be doing, just like you experienced in my office, is I would be looking at your astrological chart. And what happens to me, which I don't know if you noticed it or not, that when you were in my office in that type of a setting, what happens to me is I kind of like go into a little bit of a trance, and maybe my eyes are up there, over there, whatever, but that's how I'm connecting to your soul and spirit and anyone else that is surrounding you that has passed on or that maybe is still here with us.
Wow.
Gives me a lot of information. So what I wanted to express too is, you know, we are all celestial star travelers. So when I was talking to you in reference to looking at your Saturn and talking about your previous life, okay, you had learned a lot of lessons from Saturn. Saturn is the teacher. Saturn is karma. Saturn can also be the restrictor. You see, it's also a challenge of what you had brought in from your previous life, this Saturn in Virgo here. So one of the things is that to allow yourself to just let go a little bit more. This is one of the lessons that you've learned in life, but I think that you already learned that a long time ago. But that was karma that you brought in from your previous life, okay?
A good karma, or?
Yes, and you did really learn that from what I can see in your stars. Okay? But one of the things that I wanted to mention is that it's not only Earth where we reincarnate. Yes, I know. You know how you said that you spend a lot of time here and there, and that you had 138 lifetimes? I believe that's what you were telling me.
A spirit told me during a seance one time that I've had 100, and they said, oh, you've only had 138 lifetimes because you spend a lot of time in between lives on the other side.
Thank you. And you know what you were doing on the other side? Experiencing other universes, other spheres, other
in the
dimensions.
form of a spirit?
Yes. The light. Your spirit is a light. Basically, that's what we are. And we don't just experience the incarnations here on Earth. You see? So that's part of what I really was so excited about talking with you about tonight, okay? Actually, we go through many spheres and dimensions, and even many solar systems. And one of the things is that we, in between our lifetimes, or we can incarnate, not necessarily consecutively, into earthly lifetimes. It's a little bit difficult to